So welcome. You're here because you're interested in going to Los Angeles. And I'm thrilled that you're interested in going to Los Angeles. So the title of this class is Mass Communication and Top Media Markets. But let me kind of explain what that means. We're going to get a behind the scenes look at what it takes to be a successful communication practitioner in the #2 media market in the country. So familiar with media markets, that has to do with how big your audience is. Birmingham is like, oh, I should have looked up the exact number, kind of down there a little bit. We're not top 10 by any stretch of the imagination. Los Angeles is #2 in the country. They're dealing with large audiences. And it is a whole different world in how you communicate versus how we do that in Birmingham. So what is this going to look like? Well, there's Los Angeles, the beautiful city that we'll hopefully get to see in person in just a few months. We're going to see firsthand how PR, advertising, journalism, broadcast professionals communicate with their diverse audiences in this really large market. So this is going to run the whole spectrum of communication. We're going to do all of the things: PR, ad, broadcast journalism, and we're going to look at a bunch of different industries: sports, fashion, entertainment, theme parks, movie studios. Also hoping we might get into a podcast studio, like one of the big ones, like Earwolf or Odyssey or something like that. We're going to do look at all the different ways that people communicate. Go into some agencies, go to KTLA, which is a huge broadcast news studio. Go to Disney Studios, Warner Brothers, Universal Studios, yes, the theme park and the action. We're going to do all of it. So, more scenes from Los Angeles, just to give you a little glimpse of what you can see in person here. Possible site visits. All of this is, of course, depending on how many people, like how big our group is, and who we can get in contact with. This is kind of the plan, is to propose some of these site visits. Obviously, Disney, Warner Brothers, Universal Studios, and not just the theme park side, but like the front office side where they do the communication. Like, we're going to talk to people who work for Disney or work for Universal Studios, work for Warner Brothers, and run their social media or help create their strategic communication. People who actually work behind the scenes. The LA Angels is on tap so far as a tentative site visit. So the professional baseball team. But not only will we go to the game, the plan is to also talk to somebody who works in the LA Angels front office about, what is it like to work for a huge professional baseball team? How do you do the PR and social media and advertising, promotional and sponsorships and all that kind of thing? LA Times is one of the top newspapers in the country, one of the largest in the country. KTLA, which is a top broadcast studio. And then like all the touristy stuff, Griffith Observatory, which is actually this place right here. That's where you can see the Hollywood sign on the side of the hill, and you see it in all the movies and stuff. The Hollywood Walk of Fame, the Getty Center, Rodeo Drive, where they can walk down Rodeo Drive. And of course, go visit some PR and ad firms. I know the Odyssey podcast studios are near the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So we're going to try to see the tourist and stuff. We're going to see what you can see as a tourist. And then all the stuff you can't see as a tourist. The stuff that you have to be an insider, see behind the scenes. So more scenes of what you could see. If we go to LA, we'll see this in person. Here is what the class section is going to look like. So this is a May term. You're getting 4 credit hours for the month of May. You get a whole credit and a whole class done in the month of May. The plan is for 1 week of travel and then working on assignments when you get home to get your full credits. And what these assignments are, you're going to be essentially gathering your information for your assignments while we're in LA, and then you'll come home and do those assignments. So all the people we interview, all the tours we go on, you'll basically just write an analysis about that. What were your takeaways? What did you learn? I think about that not only as, something you can turn in for an assignment, but basically kind of a journal. So you talk to all these really cool people who do really cool jobs. Write down what you learned from them. Write down the tips they gave you, all of the insider information they gave you, so that you don't forget it. So journal about those interviews and the facilities that we get to tour, and then you'll turn in your analysis of your takeaways, what you learned from them as part of one of your assignments. We're going to do some PR and ad analysis, and what that means is, kind of the way I see this is we go to the Los Angeles Angels game, we go to Disney, we're going to go to Universal Studios. Let's look at their promotional things, their sponsorships, the ads that they sold, fan engagement that they did, all of these things. Hi, welcome. Sorry, we're got started a little bit early, but you haven't missed anything other than I'm gonna cross some that is totally fine for this one. So we're just talking about now what the assignments would be for LA. I'll go back and show you what we talked about as far as where we're planning to go and that kind of thing. But what this is going to look like is 1 week of travel in LA and then these things. So the people we talk to, the tours that we take of facilities, writing an analysis, kind of keeping a journal of those interviews and writing analysis of that. PR and ad analysis, analyzing the promotional efforts, fan engagement, ads, all of the things that we see in the various places we go. How did the strategic communication happen to make this happen? What was the strategy behind why there were certain sponsorships or ads, or why was this promo here, or why was this done? How was this audience reached? What is that audience? We'll kind of think about that and talk about it while we're there. And then you'll come home and write about that as part of your analysis, as part of your assignment. Photojournalism portfolio, because I mean, we're now. I mean, it's like it's so picturesque. We're going to take pictures anyway, but we're going to be intentional with our pictures. And I want you to create a portfolio of the things that we see and the things that we do while we're in LA. So that portfolio right now, have it set at about 25 photos. I mean, you're probably gonna see 25 photos in an hour while we're there, right? You know, you're gonna take the time. So you're gonna have to be selective, like in this portfolio of my trip to LA. You need to be very selective in how I tell this story visually of what we did and where we went and all the things that I saw. So you're gonna have to so carefully select how you're gonna visually represent our time in LA. And we'll go over some photo tips to help you take the best photos. How can we visually communicate this trip? And you don't have to take a big face camera. You can take all properly, but you can use your phone. And but you can, you can take really good photos with your phone, and you can select good photos to tell the story of our time in LA with about 25 photos in your portfolio. So that'll be something else you turn in. Then an experience self-reflection essay. This will be kind of the last thing you turn in. Is again, you're going to kind of journal, you're going to take pictures, you're going to keep up with all the things we learn and see and do as we go. At the end of it all, I just want you to turn in like a 1-page essay on what did you learn? What was your biggest takeaways? What surprised you the most? Or what was the coolest thing we learned? Or maybe what disappointed you? Or what do you wish that had been different? What was your experience? What was your overall experience? Kind of self-reflect, think back on what we learned and what we got to experience and how that has impacted kind of the path of your career. Did you meet somebody that did something you didn't even know existed? But that's a job I didn't even know people could do. And now that's what you want. So how did this impact your career? How has this impacted your education for the rest of the time you're at Stanford? So that'll be the last thing we turn. Okay, and that's really the end of the presentation. So there's my contact information. That's my favorite email is V Johnson. And then my office, I guess I can put that up there. I'm in Divinity North 318. So you can swing by anytime. So me email, swing by anytime you can see me. I can talk to you about what's going on. I will tell you all about what I have planned for class, the process, the application, all that kind of stuff. I go to the study abroad office, and Lauren and Jennifer Lackey, they'll help you figure out all the ins and outs of actually applying and signing up to go. But come see me anytime you want to talk about what this is, and I'll be working with them once we know how big our group is. We'll be able to set our itinerary and where we're going to go and who we're going to talk to. And I'll be glad to talk to you about all of the plans for the class. So what questions do you have about our trip to LA? Yeah.
What is like price?
Okay, so that's going to be a separate thing. I don't want to catch up with any of that. So I do know that it's inclusive of a lot of things, including admission to some of the things we're going to. I think there's a few meals that'll be on your own, and then like flight is separate. But it includes tuition and then a lot of the stuff that we're going to do. What other questions? So again, to sum it up, the point of this is to experience LA as an industry insider. We can run around the agencies here and broadcast studios here. We can run over to Atlanta. We can run up to Nashville. And we can talk to people who work in these jobs in those areas. This is the #2 market in the country. So we're going to see industries and settings that we just don't have everyday access to. We're going to see it in person, and we're going to go behind the scenes and see parts of buildings and facilities that only the people who work there get to see. And we'll get to kind of talk to them about how they got their jobs, what they do for their jobs, and then how, advice for how you can get to that same place. Here's the thing. People love to help students. People love to give advice, and people love to talk about themselves. So we're gonna talk to people who are gonna be so excited to talk about what they do and also give you advice on how you can get there. So it's gonna be really cool behind the scenes insider information. It'll be fun, it'll be educational, and it's gonna be a great networking opportunity to really go ahead and meet in person people who do really awesome stuff. It can help get you in the door in a lot of different settings and industries. So again, you're gonna be journaling and documenting every bit of our trips. You've got all this great advice and stuff that you're kind of curating as we go. And then make sure you follow them on LinkedIn and connect with them and keep doing relationships. This will be a great way to start your networking. That's gonna impact your career moving forward.
Are there any like specific deadlines as of now?
So the deadline to apply is December the 5th.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about the application process
yeah.
as a whole, so that way we've got multiple people questions to answer. So our applications for all of our programs, May, summer, and fall 2025 will open on October 18th at 7 a.m. October 18th, 7 a.m. Friday after fall break. So we go home on fall break, talk with your folks, make sure that this or any of our programs is the right fit for you. And then October 18th, you'll go on our website, which is abroad.stanford.edu, and you will go to the specific program description page for whichever program you apply for. So whether it's Mass Comm or any of them, there'll be a program description page. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, there'll be a blue apply now button. Now, for our short term, our May and our summer programs, there's no essay or faculty rec letter. So it's really a first come, first serve. Timestamp is very important. So if you want to increase your chances of being on this program or any of our programs, apply, be on our website at 7 a.m. ready to apply. So they'll open 7 a.m. October 18th, and they'll go all the way through 11:59 again on December 5th, which is the last day of class. What's available to you now? Our website has the program description page for mass communication media markets. It has the cost sheet breakdown, which includes both billable, aka costs that you'll see in your Stanford e-bill versus non-billable costs you can expect, things like airfare, personal spending, etc. We'll have a recording of this info session as well as like a course itinerary projected itinerary, a course syllabus, all of those things. You won't need a passport since this is the domestic program, so there's no worries about that. And I will say, because it's one of our domestic programs, it is definitely going to be more cost effective. Somebody asked about general costs. Our rule of thumb for like our midterm programs is around $5,000 when all is said and done. I don't know off the top of my head the exact numbers for mass communication, but it's on our website. And like she said, the way that you spend your money, things like personal spending or like you have points or miles for airfare and things like that. There are ways to make this a more cost-effective program. And just by the nature of it being domestic versus international, like we're already going to have a little bit more of a cost-effective program than others that are the 4 countries. So, what other questions do y'all have about the application process or this program specifically? Before I talk about scholarships. Yeah.
Regarding airfare, and so since it's excluded from Stanford billing, when we fly out, are we all flying on our own or like we plan each one as a group? Like how are we?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in terms of flights, for all of our programs, we will tell you that you need to be at Los Angeles Airport by this day at this time. We will provide you the faculty flight, which you will be on, because if you choose to want to book that flight. This will also be in May, so you'll be coming off of the semester here on campus. You may be moving all of your dorm stuff back home, wherever home is for you. So you're welcome to fly from home to LA, from Birmingham, from Atlanta, wherever, right? We just say that you need to be here by this day at this time, so that way everyone can meet together as a group. And then you can also group together with a few of your peers on the program and fly together, or you can fly individually. I've flown to Los Angeles from Birmingham before, and I routed from Chicago. There's not a direct flight from Birmingham to LAX. That's how I did it, but that doesn't think that Dallas for somewhere else. In terms of scholarships, did that answer your question?
Yes, we did.
Any other questions before I talk about scholarships? Okay, cool. So because this is a May term program, this is outside of your normal financial aid package here at Stanford, which covers your fall and your spring semesters, right? And so we have a couple of scholarships available through our office. If you would be a first-time international traveler as part of this program, I need to ask them how that was applied to the next programs. But the Go Farther grant is for students who would be their first time out of the country. I need to see if our WA programs apply to that. And then we have need-based scholarship, called Merit Scholarship. All of this is available on our website. We'll open the same day as programs, October 18th, 7 a.m. My suggestion to you, you can apply for the program first, then the scholarship. That way you have that time stamp, that spot, right? And then our third scholarship is should you be a school of the arts major or minor, there's the Barrington Lake Wisconsin scholarship and then the Thompson Blake Life parents. So if you are a school of the arts major or minor, you can apply for that one, as well as all of our other scholarships on our website. You'll apply for the program first, then scholarships. The scholarships will actually close prior to program applications closing, so that way you can learn whether you're a recipient of the scholarships in order to make decisions about following through an application for these programs. What other questions we got? Yeah.
Question, if you're looking at any other international, do those scholarships apply as well? For everything?
If you're looking at another one of our programs, Sanford Abroad program.
Edinburgh, the school that was.
Oh, okay, so it's a cohort experience.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm just trying to get this scholarships applied for those.
Yeah, so if there's like a specific, like if you're going with like acapella to Europe on that program, if you're going to school here in Edinburgh or architecture in the Dominican Republic, these scholarships are for like credit bearing, they're for like the Sanford faculty led programs, not for those cohort experiences.
Regarding international scholarships, so in contrast with that, maybe the first time studying abroad, like in place of first time going international.
No, it would be if it's your first time traveling internationally, you need to confirm that it, you know. That somebody, yeah, somebody with credit to apply. What was that question?
What is the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. So, our applications are open October 18th through December 5th. If you submit an application on October 18th, get that timestamp and you withdraw before December 5th, no harm, no foul. If December 5th, rolls by, we'll have our, couple weeks of application review period, and then you'll hear from us in about early January, whether or not you're accepted with this program. The only reason why would you be denied is because of eligibility. Basically, that is like that. And otherwise, if you're accepted in the program, you can expect $200 bill, regardless of if you choose to commit to the program or decline the program. So if you want to wait, the only thing you would owe in January is that application fee. But if you draw before December 5th, no.
Can I apply for like if you're not
Yeah, that's a good question.
if I apply for two and then both get accepted, then you have a approval?
That's a great question. So, for our number of applications, you can apply to one program per term. So 1 May, 1 summer, 1 fall. If you apply to a May and there is 1 application fee per program. So if you apply to a May term and a summer term program, there would be 2 application fees, yes. However, if say you apply for mass communication in Los Angeles and there aren't enough students to make the program, we would offer, there's some other options or programs that are close to filling, we would offer you a spot on one of those programs. Then you'd have the choice.
Do you need to meet with our advisor before we apply, like is that?
I would suggest, it's not mandatory, I would suggest you do, just because so you learn how this course specifically is gonna fit in with your degree track. This is being offered. Social science, yep. So, if you need social science, then I back and work for that. There's the potential for it to count for humanities. There was somebody else who asked about that, and they were going to database here in Howard College, like her office is all the advising. And I think they were working on the possibility of humanities, and it can also count for anything in JMC or comp. So all of our communication and media, majors, minors, that. Yeah, but definitely social science, gen ed, and then beyond that, your academic advisor would be where that would fit into your degree plan, but no, it's not mandatory, definitely suggest.
Question for you, regarding humanities, when will we kind of know if that counts? Because I'm not in mass communications, so that would probably be my route to go for the credit.
Okay, so it's gonna be up to the advisor.
Okay.
And, so the way it works is that, you know, if they decided this is what they want to count for humanities, and they kind of get the proper approval, they would submit a petition, and it would go to the registrar's office, so there's a process.
Okay.
But we can kind of get essentially a commitment, not quite a commitment, but like word that this would count before you ever actually do class.
Yeah, so you as a student can petition the university or the specific department to see whether it would count with Sanford or Broad. Guarantee any credit outside of social science credit or the.
So I can provide information to your advisor to help see where it would fit. What's your major?
Health science or I'm minoring in marketing.
Okay, so yeah, we can definitely get this, we could probably get it to count as a marketing elective actually. So, yeah, I can work with, oh, I forgot her name, that's the advisor for marketing, talked with her before. Yeah,
That's why I just.
Yes. Yes, so I can work with Heather on figuring out, yeah, we can get this to count for marketing.
Thank you.
What other questions y'all got?
Spread the word to your friends, let's get 10 people to go to LA. We're gonna get a lot of them. I mean, look at this group, this is gonna be a really fun group, speaking of LA. And there are gonna be, so there's gonna be some times when we're together, obviously at these places. Let me go back and show you the slide. Potential places where we're gonna go. So this is all tentative till we know how big our group is and kind of get all the things actually confirmed. But our plan is to go to places like Disney, Warner Brothers, Universal Studios. Yes, the theme parks, but also like the front offices and talk to people who work for those industries and work for those organizations and talk to them behind the scenes. We're gonna go to LA Angels. The baseball game is on the itinerary. We're also gonna talk to people who work for the Angels. The LA Times, which is one of the top newspapers in the country, KTLA, which is one of the biggest broadcast news stations in the country. And then, of course, all the touristy stuff too, as well as some PR you can see some of the top in the country are based out of LA. And so all of this is very tentative, but and a lot of this will be kind of group travel, like we'll kind of go as a group to interview people, to tour facilities and talk with things and talk with different people, different settings, different industries. But then there's some free time as well, where you can have, you know, choose, maybe I want to go see this tourist attraction, maybe I want to go here. There's an afternoon or most of the day on the tentative itinerary where we go to Universal Studios, the theme park. And that's an optional thing. You can choose to be part of that. You can choose to do something else. There's a free day where, personally, I'll be using my free day to go to Disneyland, but you know, use it for whatever you want to, whatever you want to do. So there's group times and then there's free times. There are going to be some meals on your own, like some dinners that you can kind of go and do and walk where, you know, to eat whatever you want. There's going to be at least one meal that I have planned. Like I'm going to buy pizza for everybody. We'll just have like pizza together one night. Like we'll go all get ice cream together or something. So we're going to do a lot of things together, but then there's also going to be plenty of opportunity to kind of explore. Maybe not on your own, but like with a friend or a couple of friends. Like you don't have to be a whole group together, but a couple of you can go and kind of do whatever you want to do while you're here. So again, come by and see me anytime, Devane North 318, or just shoot me an email and glad to answer your questions. And I hope that this works out. It was going to be a really fun. It's going to be very educational, lots of really good networking, and a lot of fun too. Guys, feel free again.